Civilizations once mapped the cosmos without telescopes, and they lifted stones heavier than a modern airliner, using methods modern science still cannot fully explain. Our richest libraries burned for months, erasing entire traditions. Today, fragments hint that history's greatest breakthroughs did not vanish. They were forgotten. What if the secrets beneath crumbled monuments and silent scrolls reveal we are not the most advanced era after all? Let us uncover why so much of humanity's lost knowledge remains just beyond our reach. Wind howled through the empty halls of Alexandria as flames devoured the greatest collection of scrolls the ancient world had ever seen. For centuries, scholars from Egypt, Greece, Persia, and India gathered here, copying, debating, and expanding the boundaries of science and philosophy. Yet, over a span of centuries, through invasions, civil wars, and accident, fire after fire reduced these treasures to ash. The loss was more than parchment and ink. It was the erasure of entire lines of thought, experimental methods, and the wisdom of generations. In northern India, Nalanda's red brick towers once echoed with the voices of monks and mathematicians. In 1193, invading armies set the libraries alight. Eyewitnesses claimed the fire burned for 3 months, fueled by palm leaf manuscripts stacked floor to ceiling. Some monks fled under cover of darkness, carrying precious texts to Tibet, hoping to preserve even a fragment of their tradition. Most knowledge vanished with the smoke, and with the teachers who kept it alive. Centuries later, in the deserts of Mali, manuscripts faced a quieter threat. In 2012, as militants advanced on Timbuktu, local custodians, librarians, traders, and families risked their lives to smuggle more than 350,000 manuscripts out of the city. They packed ancient astronomy, medicine, and poetry into metal chests, loading them onto donkey carts and small boats. Some texts were lost, stolen, or burned, but the majority survived, hidden in secret cellars and remote villages. Each loss was not just a burned book, but the silencing of teachers, experimenters, and apprentices. The world's memory became patchwork, with entire scientific traditions disappearing not in a single day, but in the slow unraveling of communities and the quiet fall of those who remembered. When the last custodian closed the last door, the chain of knowledge snapped, leaving behind questions that would haunt future generations. Beyond the vanished libraries, the earth holds its own archive, monuments so massive and so precise that their very existence raises questions that have yet to be answered. At Baalbek in Lebanon, 3 limestone blocks form the heart of a Roman podium. Each measures nearly 20 meters in length and stands over 4 meters high and 4 meters deep. The largest, known as the Stone of the Pregnant Woman, weighs more than 1,000 tons, heavier than a fully loaded Airbus A380. The quarry lies a short distance away, but how these stones, each the size of a small house, were moved and set with such accuracy remains an open puzzle. Modern cranes would struggle with the load. The ancient builders left no blueprints and no detailed records. Only the stones themselves are locked in place for 2,000 years. On the other side of the world, high in the Andes, Sacsayhuaman shows zigzag walls that fit together with a precision that defies explanation. Some stones stand taller than a person and weigh more than a city bus, yet their joints are so tight that even a knife blade cannot slip between them. Engineers and archaeologists studying the site agree that the craftsmanship reaches a level of accuracy rarely matched by modern masonry. While stories circulate about sub-millimeter gaps, systematic measurement across the entire site is still lacking. What is clear is the visual evidence: irregular blocks, each uniquely shaped, nestled together like pieces of a giant three-dimensional puzzle. No mortar holds them. Gravity and geometry alone keep the walls standing, even after centuries of earthquakes. In the barren hills of southeastern Turkey, Göbekli Tepe rises from the dust, its T-shaped pillars carved and aligned more than 11,000 years ago. These monoliths, some weighing up to 16 tons, were raised before the invention of pottery or metal tools. Their arrangement hints at a knowledge of surveying and orientation that predates written language by millennia. The builders, whose names are lost, left only the stones and their silent testimony. Their work is ancient, and it challenges assumptions about what the earliest societies could conceive and achieve. Across continents and epochs, anonymous engineers shaped the impossible. The evidence is not in faded manuscripts, but in the weight of quarried rock, the invisible seams between stones, and the silent alignment of pillars with the stars. Their methods remain elusive, their achievements undeniable, inviting us to recover not just lost knowledge, but lost ways of seeing and making. Science does not trust a single witness. It demands repeatable proof, measured with tools that reveal what the eye cannot see. When the past offers up a mystery, an ancient mechanism, a block of concrete, a spark from a clay jar, modern researchers reach for a toolkit built to cut through myth and expose the hidden details. X-ray, computed tomography, called CT scanning, slices through stone, metal, and corrosion without disturbing a single grain. It reconstructs the interior of artifacts like the Antikythera Mechanism, mapping every gear and pin in 3 dimensions, even when the outside looks like nothing but a lump of rust. Scanning electron microscopes, SEM and TEM, magnify the invisible down to the nanoscale, showing the crystals that make Roman concrete heal itself, or the carbon structures that gave Damascus steel its legendary edge. Thin section, petrography, and X-ray diffraction, XRD, break ancient mortars and metals into their smallest mineral phases, identifying the recipe behind their endurance, or the secret ingredient that modern engineers missed. Dating comes next. Radiocarbon laboratories count the faint traces of carbon-14 left in wood, bone, or even plant fibers trapped in ancient mortar, fixing the moment an object was made. Isotopic sourcing traces the origins of stone, metal, or ash, matching the fingerprint of an artifact to a quarry, a volcano, or a distant riverbed. These methods reveal not just when, but where and how materials moved across the ancient world. Experimental archaeology asks a different question. Can we do it again? Researchers mix volcanic ash and lime, cast bronze gears by hand, or try to move 100-ton stone with ropes and levers. Success or failure is measured in blisters, broken tools, and the hard numbers of weight, force, and fit. Each method brings its own certainty and its own blind spots. Some answers are clear as a CT scan. Others remain shadows at the edge of the data. But together, this toolkit is how science judges the impossible, turning fragments and ruins into testable evidence, and arming us to weigh what is known, what is likely, and what may never be solved. In 1901, divers searching a Roman wreck near Antikythera surfaced with what looked like a lump of corroded bronze and wood. Decades later, CT scans revealed a dense cluster of more than 30 gears, each cut with a precision that rivaled medieval clockmakers. The Antikythera Mechanism, built in the 2nd century BCE, could predict eclipses, track lunar and solar cycles, and even model the moon's shifting speed with a pin and slot system. Its compact box held a complexity unmatched for 1,000 years. Researchers like Tony Freeth mapped every fragment, decoding ancient Greek inscriptions and reconstructing the gear trains that turned celestial calculations into motion. The device stands as hard evidence that ancient engineers achieved tolerances and mechanical sophistication once thought impossible. Yet no other mechanism like it has survived, leaving open the question of how much ancient knowledge slipped away beneath the waves. The Romans, meanwhile, left their mark in stone, specifically in concrete, that has outlasted empires. Their harbor piers, poured directly into the sea, have stood for 2,000 years. Modern engineers puzzled over this longevity until geochemist Marie Jackson and her team drilled into ancient breakwaters. Electron microscopes revealed a blend of volcanic ash, lime, and seawater that grows tobermorite crystals inside cracks. When salt water seeps in, new crystals form, sealing the fractures from within. This self-healing chemistry explains why Roman concrete endures where modern mixes crumble in decades. The secret was in the materials and the process: hot mixing lime, choosing the right ash, and letting the sea finish the job. Over time, the formula faded, replaced by faster but weaker methods. In a Baghdad museum, a clay jar with a copper cylinder and iron rod sits at the center of debate. Replicas filled with vinegar or grape juice produce about 1 volt, enough for a mild shock, or possibly plating metals. Its true purpose remains uncertain, a reminder that ancient innovation often slips just out of reach. Much of what we call progress is really memory recovered. Today, with digital archives already vanishing and languages dying out each month, our own knowledge stands on the same edge. What we forget now may become tomorrow's mystery. The spiral continues unless we choose to remember.